Hi Sagittarius, this is Tara. Welcome to your mid-November 2016 Psychic Tarot forecast. Whoa. Well, I have 4 cards that fell on the ground, so I'm going to pick those up, and those will be your 4 cards. Actually, it's 5. Wow. Okay, you all are the apparently the chosen ones. This particular reading, because actually I've been pulling 3 cards. Very interesting. Okay. And I know that Sagittarius, you guys are going through the Saturn. I believe Saturn's in your first house. And I completely understand what that's like. Being a Libra sun, Saturn spent some time in my house. First house, and I just have to tell you that there is growth and opportunity to come of it. It feels sometimes like you're fighting the waves and trying to stay afloat, but believe me, the lessons that are learned of Saturn, and we don't want to have to learn lessons, but let's just say the experiences and opportunities that come up with Saturn allow us to grow and evolve and better things to come. So just remember, there's always light at the end of the tunnel, and you may be having a great time with Saturn. Some people look at it as like a Mercury retrograde. When Mercury's in retrograde and things feel stalled, delayed, then it does. It feels that way. But you don't have to see it. You see it like that. You can visit it as, and I said visit. It really is like revisit. It's like having old friends coming into your life. It's revisiting what you're doing in your life and seeing if that's working for you. So you can look at Saturn as the same way. It's going to bring opportunities up for you to grow for the future. All right. Well, okay, Sagittarius, let's take a look at these cards. Interesting. I'm going to put these 2 over to the side so you can actually see. The first 3 cards are all women. Interestingly enough, the card depicts women. So, you have some feminine intuition, second chakra stuff that would be good to work with. Second chakra is, well, like the color of this candle right here. As you can see, it's sort of an orange. That's in your lower abdomen area. Feels like physically, especially for females, any type of menstrual cycles or postpartum depression, anything like that. I'm not really sure why that's coming up with this, but it is anything else that if you're in your later years of womanhood, then of course then you have the change of life. So that's coming up here. There's a lot of feminine aspects in these first 3 cards. That's all I'm pointing out. Okay, so the first card is the Ten of Swords. And the Ten of Swords represents the end of an idea, the end of a situation that you have not been happy with, that has not served you well. This could be a relationship or a partnership or a business decision or a career, but you're ready to, what she's doing here, and I'm glad the camera refocused, but what she's doing here is has a ritual, and she's celebrating the fact with the kettle in the middle, and you see the smoke coming out from the kettle going into the woods. She's celebrating the fact that there is still life. There is still more to this, Sagittarius. So the Ten of Swords, which are surrounding her, she's acknowledging what has not been great for her. If it's been a relationship and it just hasn't worked and you've tried at it, it's like, you know what, this is the end. A lot of times in most cards, this Ten of Swords is someone lying flat down, face down with 10 swords in their back. It's a little graphic, but that's pretty much means that, okay, you've had it, you're done with the situation, it's over, you're ready to move on. The Ace of Swords would be next, and that's brand new ideas, victory, happiness. So some of you might be reminiscing, or I want to say almost celebrating the fact that maybe, something has come to an end. Because interestingly enough, the very first or the very next card that comes up afterwards is the same as the Magician card. So now you're ready to create your own life, create your own destiny. This may have felt like that your destiny was in other people's hands, but you're ready now to create anew. Even in this Saturn period, it's, hey, no time like the present to tune into who we are and create what we want. And she has the pentacle for money, the cup for her emotions, the sword for ideas and thoughts, and of course the wand for inspiration. And so you could be, on in the physical level, you could be leading a project. You could be owning or opening up a new business. You may own a business, and you just have some new implementation of ideas that are exciting you. But it feels like for a lot of you Sagittarians, you're ready to move forward. After this, whatever this Ten of Swords, a lot of times the Ten of Swords is like, it can even mean something drastic has happened in your life. Maybe you've had someone who didn't treat you well, or there was some it can mean physical violence. So I'm not putting that out there. We don't want it to ever be, but you're past it. You're getting over it. You're creating anew. Thank goodness. And for those of you who are still maybe in a situation, then of course there's always support and there's help, right? Okay, so on to the new, and interesting see the hats there. The next card is the High Priestess. Now I love this card, and I love the High Priestess because she represents our internal spiritual selves, who we can turn into and tune into when the going gets rougher and the chips may be down a little bit. But it's not only that. The High Priestess, she's a knower and a seer of all things spiritual. I mean, she understands that there's cycles in life where they're not so great. Life is not, a bowl of cherries or a day at the beach. But she understands that this too shall pass, and she really goes into herself and she creates magic with this. She pays attention to the moon. And I think I said at the beginning of the video, I hope I did, that the new moon is in Sagittarius. Yay, you guys. I don't think I mentioned it. That the new moon in Sagittarius on the 29th of November. It's a great time to benefit from new ideas and information. So pay attention to what others are saying. Pay attention to your own intuition, because this moon right here is a reflection of what she's creating. So she's tuning into the stars, the skies, the planets. If you're an astrologer, if you're into astrology, you may really want to pay attention to your astrology, your sun, moon, and natal chart, and where those lie. What am I seeing in this? See how the moon reflects right down here in the cauldron? It's a reflection of the moon. So she's intuitively channeling this information and creating her own essence. It's very similar to this. These two are... The only difference really is this one is because it's a darker color. Not warmer, but darker, bluish. It's actually a cool color. But this is a little bit more spiritual, a little bit more intuitive. This is knowing your inner self. This is creating and manifesting in the outer. This is manifesting in the inner. your inner world. Interesting. So 2 major arcana cards in a row. Okay. And then the 4th card is the 6 of Chalices. And this is really a cute card. I love the 6 of Chalices anyway, and it always depicts 2 kids, always cute little kids, and as you can see, they've had their picnic and their silverware out and their cups and their dishes, and they're in this meadow and holding hands with this canary. I guess the canary represents cheeriness and songbird, right? Singing. So the 6 of Chalices can mean that you're revisiting those old childhood memories. You're thinking of those. You're remembering those. And remembering those in a very loving way for the most part. I'm looking at, yeah, I think for the most part, because I look at who matches who or who faces who, that this card is one of past memories. You may come across one of your annuals, yearbook, whatever you called it in your high school, junior high, or fraternity, sorority, if you're, college. But you may come across one of those and flip through the pages and look at the pictures and really, think about that. Or one of your elementary school pictures, you might be getting those out and say, oh my gosh, look, I remember her. I remember him. Wow, look at my teacher. And that is always such a fun thing to do. Since I've, been in the process of moving, I've tried not to look at pictures too much because there's so much else to do. But the one day I took about 20 minutes, it was a blast. So it might be that some of you are just rethinking about childhood memories, hopefully keeping it in a positive way. We'll see what the clarification card is. Every so often, this card can come up and mean a memory that you didn't like, and you've had to let go of limiting beliefs because maybe you and your father didn't get along, or you don't feel like you were heard or treated right. That can come up. So that it can all come up. This could be the end of November, a little bit emotional for some of you. The last card is the 2 of Wands. Well, the 2 of Wands is basically about clarifying what you want to do in your life, your work. She's happy. I mean, she's at her home and she has this orange door, which is, again, about 2nd chakra. And she's waving. So it's the beginning of, after the Ace of Wands, where there's this new idea, there's this new inspiration. She's now started to pull it together. So it could be you and a partner working together, or a lover, or romantic relationship, you and another person, because 2 is always about duality, or the coming together of 2. But it can just mean that you're starting to see reflections of a happy life through what you're doing, that your home is important to you, and that you're reflecting on how I can make it more cheerful, adding pillows, adding artwork, adding furniture, or taking out what you don't need any longer, taking out the pieces that you don't want. And I say pieces of furniture, and adding in a few touches that you do. Bring in flowers, because that feels to me like that's creative inspiration for you guys. Okay, my friends, you really all have 5 cards, and I had to choose them because they fell on the floor, so I'm not going to ignore that. Let's pull some clarification cards and see what. Well, this one turned up, so we're going to go with it. That's the 4 of Swords. That's about needing rest, meditation, so that you can, rest up. If you've been tired, or if this Saturn has been behind, a bee in your behind, a bee in your bonnet, then take some rest and R&R, which is actually the same thing. But as you can see, this also denotes a little bit of spiritual flavor with the symbolism. And it almost looks like he's at a church or at a spiritual synagogue, whatever it may be. So in doing so, that you will gain your inner awareness. You'll feel like when you get out of this mode, that you're ready to move again, ready to go again. Some of you may have had surgery or just need to rest your body if you've been sick. That sometimes comes out of this as well. Okay, well, the Six of Rods flew out. Sagittarius, for some reason today, the cards are active with you. Six of Rods is about being acknowledged and celebrated and accomplished by other people. In your organization, in your work, the great work that you've done. So that's awesome that comes up. I don't even know which card it comes up around, but it did come up. So some of you really seeing some acknowledgement around that. The Hermit card, again, taking a time out. It's in reverse. The World card, if you do that, then you're going to see huge accomplishments, huge growth. And the Ten of Pentacles has to do with your money, feeling in place, family inheritance. So some of you may be receiving some of that. And the Sun card, oh my gosh. So the clarification cards are actually pretty nice. Wow. If you can see here, especially these four, but also the Hermit. I mean, it's a celebration, acknowledgement. This is money, finances, wonderful with generational finances. I mean, the World card is the last one of the major arcana, so it's all things accomplished. It's seeing enlightenment. It's getting to understand who you really are and the purpose and accomplishment, like I said, around that. And the Sun card is just cheerful, happiness, optimism. So stay focused. Go into your inner guide, your inner self, and see what happens when you do that. You know, the Hermit card also asks you to do that, to light your own lantern. Go on your own path. Go outside, sometimes when you want some quiet time. What are the stars telling you? What is the earth telling you? And meditate on that. Well, Sagittarius, okay. Let's add up these cards numerologically. So we have 10, 11, 13, 19, and 21. Well, it's interesting. That's what came up for the last reading, and I believe that was Scorpio. It's 2 and 1, so 3 may become a message from the universe. It's about expression, you guys. It's about expressing. Okay, what feels to me is expressing yourself in your highest. How do I want to say this? The best way you can. Expressing your values, expressing your heart, what you want in life, and not only talking to other people about it, but write it down. Make some notes to yourself or mental notes to yourself. How do I want my life to look? Because you've got a variety of cards here that really talks about that. Okay, Sagittarius, if you all would like your own personal private reading to ask your own questions and personal life, relationships, career, your money, numerology too is great, and I always include it with the tarot reading sessions, but numerology is great about timing, making changes. If you're in a 7-year, please do not buy a home or make a major move or buy a business because your tide is out. I'm just saying that's an example. But there are other years that are awesome for that. And so it's good to know what that is. And with the new year coming up, what year are you in? What are the aspects that are surrounding that? What's your best decisions to make in this year? So contact me for a reading. You can reach me at themagicalmatrix@gmail.com. It's below. You can go on my website, taraventura.com. And either way, reach out to me and we can do a private reading for you. And as you know, Sagittarius, I wish you the best. I look forward to talking to you soon. Be well, take care, and have a great rest of the month.